Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about a very special drone that is under 250 grams, has amazing 4K video and costs just around 300 bucks. And yes, it's the Potensic Atom. Let's go. Now, full disclosure, Potensic did reach out to me with the drone. I do get to keep it, no money change hands, and they don't get to see the video before you guys. So we'll be talking about the good things and the bad things about the Potensic Atom. And it's primarily just the good things. Now, I did get the Fly More combo and it comes with this nice bag. The Fly More combo is a little bit more expensive, it's just over $400, so it's a good place to start. You will find the link down in the description. But anyway, it comes with this nice pouch bag. Inside you have the drone, the remote controller, a charging hub with 3 batteries that all charge at the same time. Now, that's a very special feature that I haven't seen on any other drone. You get the connection cable, the charger, and a whole bunch of instructions which are really easy to understand. So if you're a beginner in the drone world, this is a really good place to start, and you get some pretty solid video quality, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Now we have to keep in mind that this weighs less than 250 grams, which means that you don't have to register if you want to fly this drone, and it's a $300 product. So considering the price, it's actually surprisingly well built. I mean, I think you could easily compare it to the other mini drones in its category from other companies. Now, I'm not going to compare this to, let's say, the DJI Mini or anything else, but it does fall in the same category as the DJI Mini, and I think about the same level of quality, but for a much lower price. This is what I mean when I say it's good for beginners who want to get into drone flying and video creation. I mean, just look at how small this is. It fits in the palm of your hand. Now, I've talked a lot about packing small drones on my photography trips, and having this with you, even with the remote, it's not going to take up a lot of space, and more importantly, it doesn't add nothing to the weight of your backpack, because it's under 250 grams. Now, the remote controller is a solid build as well. You can extend it to place your phone in. You connect your phone with a cable, which does come in the package. So you have the USB-C, which is over here, to USB-C. That's what I'm using. You have the USB-C to micro USB, and you have the USB-C to Lightning for those of you who use iPhones. The controller sticks are tucked here nicely, and you just screw them on like with any other drone, and it's really the easiest setup that you can get. Now, you download the app from the Potensic website, and then you just connect your smartphone with the remote controller, and everything gets done automatically. Now, you have to create an account in order to activate everything, but once that is done, it's pretty much just, punch up the throttle and start flying. And it flies like every other video drone that I've used, so I'm very familiar with this format of flying. Now, when it comes to battery life, one battery should last up to 32 minutes. Personally, I've reached 25 minutes on a battery charge, and that is way more than I've ever experienced on any drone. I fly a lot of FPV, and there I have around 15 minutes, and even that's really long for an FPV. But with this, I mean, I seriously just forget that there's a battery that is draining. And if you cannot get a video recording in 25 minutes, well, then you should rethink your video strategy. And with 3 batteries, you might as well record a full feature film, because there's a lot of minutes to be recorded. Now, every battery has its own USB-C port for charging, but if you have the charging hub, you can charge all 3 batteries simultaneously, and you can see the levels of how much they are charged. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you can even use a USB-A port to use this as a battery pack. So this is like an external battery pack if you want to charge anything else. Although I'm probably not going to use it as an external battery pack, but now it has the feature. Okay, now we come to the really juicy part of this video, and that is the actual video quality of the drone. Now, the max resolution is 4K, 24, 25, and 30 frames per second, depending on which frame rate you work. You can choose a 2.7K resolution with all these three frame rates, and you can use the 1080p resolution, and with this one, you go up to 50 or 60 frames per second if you want to slow your video down. Now, there is something I have to mention with this. If you switch to 1080p with, let's say, 50 frames per second, you will get an extensive crop to your video. Now, honestly, I don't live around waterfalls, so I have no idea where I would use a faster frame rate drone recording to then slow down and get some like epic cinematic shots. So yeah, I mean, there's just mountains around me where I live. But if you want to get that half speed in the video, you have this option. It just, it's cropped in quite a lot. And if you shoot with 4K, you can choose a 2x digital zoom. Now, this one actually doesn't look really bad, but you have to be very careful because it gets really tight. So the field of view becomes very narrow. And it's a bit tricky to fly a drone with such a narrow field of view because the video is so compressed. And if you're trying to fly sideways, you quickly lose the sense of where you actually are. And well, you can crash it into trees, like over here. Although this was not zoomed in, I just crashed it. It happens, and the drone recovered and there is no damage to the drone, which is really cool. So it just flew back to the starting point. And yes, it does have the return to home feature like the DJI drones have. Now, throughout this video, you've been seeing video clips from the drone, and this is all shot in 4K with 25 frames per second. And well, you guys can be the judge of how good the video quality is. But the videos are 8-bit and they are H.264 codec with a very high quality of compression, but you don't have any flat image profiles. And as I said, the videos are 8-bit, so they're meant to be used straight out of the camera. You can tweak the shadows and the highlights a little bit, but on a sensor that is 1/3 inch, well, it's gonna be difficult to get some really high dynamic range. And considering the price, well, that's as much as you can get from a drone of this size and, well, this price range. Now, in this very mini drone package, you actually get a tracking feature where you can select a subject and set it to follow the subject. Now, it's doing a pretty good job. It's not the best tracking I've ever seen, and honestly, I don't think I've ever used drone tracking in any of my videos, but you have this option and it's quite good. Based on my experience, it's as good as it can be. You also have a few quick shot options where you can have the drone go around the subject, go away from the subject or towards the subject, or spiral around the subject. So there's a whole bunch of options, and you can even plot a few waypoints where the drone will then fly from one waypoint to another, to the third. So if you want to pre-program a route, well, you can do it with this Potensic add-on, which in many cases can be quite a useful feature. Okay, so some final thoughts on the drone, and well, most importantly, who is this drone for? If you want to get into video drones and you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money and want to get something light and portable, honestly, I think the Potensic add-on is the best option currently on the market. It has all the features from all the major brands of mini drones, but it's more affordable, so it is the best choice if you're just starting out with drones. Now, I do use a lot of FPV footage in my videos, but for those more cinematic shots, I'm actually going to use the Potensic add-on because it's good enough, and with a bit of tweaking and a bit of color grading, well, you can get some really decent looking videos out of the Potensic add-on. So anyway, if you guys want to check it out, use the link down in the description, and while you're down there, leave a comment and maybe ask a question or two. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and hit the like button for the algorithm. It really helps. If you want to stay on the channel and watch last week's video, well, watch this one. See you in this one. Bye bye.